Hey, hi, it's Peter. Good to see you again. Today I'm going to read to you a story. It's really one of my favorite stories in my whole life. It is The Sneetches by Dr. Seuss. And I remember when I was a little boy, my mom read me this story, and it has made an impression on me my whole life. Listen, it's a great story. It's called The Sneetches, and you'll see there's two kinds of Sneetches. You'll notice one has a star and the other one doesn't have a star. Let's see what that means. So now the star-belly Sneetches had bellies with stars, and the plain-belly Sneetches had none upon theirs. Those stars weren't so big, they were really so small, you might think such a thing, it wouldn't matter at all. But because they had stars, the star-belly Sneetches would brag. We're the best Sneetches on the beaches. And with their snoots in the air, they would sniff and they'd snort. We'll have nothing to do with the plain belly sort. And whenever they met some, when they were out walking, they'd hike right on past them without even talking. Isn't that nasty? When star-bellied children went out to play ball, could a plain belly get in the game? Not at all. You could only play if your bellies had stars, and the plain belly children had none upon theirs. When the star-belly Sneetches had frankfurter roasts, or picnics, or parties, or marshmallow roasts, they never invited the plain belly Sneetches. They left them out in the cold of the beaches. And they kept them away. They never let them come near. That's how they treated them year after year. And then, one day, while the plain belly Sneetches were moping and doping and alone on the beaches, just sitting there wishing that their bellies had stars, a stranger zipped up in the strangest of cars. "My friends," he announced in a voice clear and keen, "my name is Sylvester McMonkey McBean. I've heard of your troubles. I've heard you're unhappy. I can fix that. I am the fix-it-up chappie. I've come here to help you. I have what you need. My prices are low. I work at great speed, and my work is 100% guaranteed." Then quickly, Sylvester McMonkey McBean, he put together a very peculiar machine. You see that there? They go in there and they come out there. He said, "You want stars like a star-belly Sneetch? My friends, you can have them for $3 each. What a deal. Just pay me your money and hop right on board." And so they clambered inside, and the big machine roared, and it clonked, and it bonked, and it jerked, and it burked, and it bopped them about. But the thing really worked. And when the plain belly Sneetches popped out, they had stars. They actually did. They had stars upon stars. Oh boy. Is that the end of the story? No. And then they yelled at the ones who had stars from the start. They said, "Ha ha, we're exactly like you. You can't tell us apart. We're just the same now, you snooty old smarties, and now we can go to your frankfurter parties." Aha. And look at the faces on the... They're like, "Oh no." Yeah. "Good grief," groaned the ones who had stars at the first. "We're still the best Sneetches. They're still the worst. But now how in the world will we know?" They all frowned. If which kind is what, or the other way around. Uh-oh. Here comes McBean again. Then up came McBean with a very sly wink. He said, "Things are not quite as bad as you think. So you don't know who's who? That's perfectly true. But come with me, friends. You know what I'll do? I'll make you, again, the best Sneetches on the beaches. And all it will cost you is $10 eaches. Ooh, price went up. Belly stars are no longer in style, said McBean. What you need is a trip through my star-off machine. This wondrous contraption will take off your stars, so you won't look like Sneetches who have them on theirs. And that handy machine, working very precisely, removed all the stars from their tummies quite nicely. Aha! Then with their snoots in the air they paraded about, and they opened their beaks and they let out a shout. We know who's who, now there isn't a doubt. The best kind of Sneetches are Sneetches without. Oh no. And then of course those with the stars got frightfully mad. To be wearing a star now was frightfully bad. Oh. Then of course old Sylvester McMonkey McBean, here he comes again. He invited them into his star-off machine, and then, of course, from then on, as you probably guess, things really got into a terrible mess. And all the rest of that day on those wild, screaming beaches, the fix-it-up chappie, he kept fixing up Sneetches, off again, on again, in again, out again. Through the machines they raced round and about again, changing their stars every minute or two, and they kept paying money, they kept running through, until neither the plane nor the starbellies knew whether this one was that one, or that one was this one, or which one was what one, or what one was who. Ay, they all got mixed up. And then, when every last cent of their money was spent, the fix-it-up chappie, he packed up and he went. Bye-bye. And he laughed as he drove in his car up the beach. They never will learn. No, you can't teach a Sneetch. Oh. Is that the end of the story? No, there's one more page. It says, but McBean was quite wrong. Oh, I'm quite happy to say the Sneetches really got quite smart on that day. The day they decided Sneetches are Sneetches, and no kind of Sneetch is the best on the beaches. That day all the Sneetches forgot about stars and whether they had one or not upon theirs. Well, what do you think of that? Isn't that an amazing story? Yeah, if you have a comment, please leave a comment. I think there's a good lesson in that story for all of us to learn, wouldn't you say? See you next time. Those are words of wisdom.